Okay, now we will discuss one more very important problem which is based on the riveted joint. It's a question paper problem, BTU examination, July-August 2005. Okay, so here also the problem is subjected to eccentric loading. Now let us analyze the given problem. Determine the safe value of P. Determine the safe value of P for the joint loaded as shown in figure. This is a joint we have loaded as shown in figure. Limiting the maximum normal stress induced to 80 MPa and the maximum shear stress induced to 60 MPa. Okay, so tau max and the sigma max we have with respect to this given problem. So now, this is a given joint we have. So here we have six number of rivets which is subjected to various diameters. Okay, the load which is acting, the eccentric load which is acting at a distance of 1000 mm from the tilting edge. Okay, from the tilting edge. So we need to find out that L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, and also we need to find out the eccentricity called the value of E. The value of E is nothing but it is a distance of that load acting on a joint to this tilting edge. Okay, for that we will call it as a eccentricity at a distance of 1000 mm. The load which is acting at a distance of 1000 mm, that is called the value of P. We need to find out the value of P with respect to this given problem. Okay, now first let us find out the first parameter, that is called the find L1, find L1, L2, L3, etc., and also the value of E, So we know this from the figure. We can directly find out the value of L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Okay, the given joint is symmetric. Here also the nature of the loading which is acting perpendicular to the axis of rivet. Okay, which is acting perpendicular to this axis of rivet. So for that, with respect to this tilting edge, okay, we will find out the value of L1, L2, L2, L3 and L4, L5, L6. You can see here, this is the rivet 1, rivet 2, rivet 3, rivet number 4, rivet number 5, rivet number 6. So both rivet number 1 and 6 are in same axis. So then L1 is equal to L6. Rivet number 2 and 5, which both are in same axis, then we will call it as a L5 is equal to L. Okay, L5 is equal to L2. Next we have the rivet number 3 and 4. So we will call it as L3 is equal to L4. So if you find out L1, then same value for the L6 also. You can see here, this is a distance where we have. So 200 mm plus 300 mm plus 400 mm. So if you add all these things, okay, we'll get from the tilting edge, the distance from the tilting edge to the first rivet. You can see that is called as an L1. L1 is equal to 200 plus 300, 500 plus 500 plus 400. So L1 is equal to 900 mm. So that also equal to L6. Same way you need to find out L2. L2 is equal to, how to find out the value of L2? So L2 is nothing but the distance from the tilting heads to the rivet number 2. So the rivet number 2 as well as rivet number 5 both are in same axis. You can see that 200 plus 300. So we'll get L2 is equal to 500. L2 is also equal to L5. Next L3. So from the distance from the tilting heads to the rivet number 3 and rivet number 4, which are both are in same axis, then L3 is equal to L4. So that is equal to 200 mm, that is equal to L4. So with this we can also find out the value of E. The value of E is nothing but the distance of load, line of load which is acting to the tilting edge, that is called the value of E. So which is equal to, E is equal to 1000 mm. E is equal to 1000 mm. Next what we need to find out? We need to find out the direct shear load on each rivet. The direct shear load shear load on each rivet, direct shear load on each rivet. You can see that if you want to find out the direct shear load, we know the equation Ft is equal to the total load divided by the number of rivets, total load to the number of rivets. We know the value of total load which is acting on this particular okay, so this one called P. So we don't know we need to determine that the safe value of load P divided by 6. This is called a direct shear load. So if you simplify that, we'll get 0.1667 P. This is the value of P. Next, what we need to find out, we need to determine the normal load on rivet number 1, 2, 3, etc. The normal load on rivet, 1, 2, 3, etc. So for that we know the equation, that is F1 is equal to P into E into L1 divided by L1 square plus L2 square plus L3 square plus L4 square plus L5 square plus L6 square. Okay, this is the equation. With respect to this, we need to find out the F1, F2, F3, F4, because F1 and F6 are okay, the rivet number 1 and rivet number 6 are in same axis, then F1 is equal to F6. Okay, if you substitute all the values into this equation, so F1 is equal to, we know the value of P, that is P, we don't know the value of P, so P into, we know the value of, that is 1000 into 900 divided by 900 square plus 500 square plus 200 square and 200 square, L4 plus L5 is equal to 500 square plus L6 is equal to 900 square. Okay, if you simplify this entire term, we'll get F1 is equal to 0.4091 P, 0.4091 P, so which is also called as F6, which is also called as F6. Same way we need to find out the value of F2. F2 is equal to F1 by L1 into L2. Substitute that value. We know the F1 0.4091 P divided by, we know the value of L1, that is 900 into 500. If you simplify this, F2 will get 0.2273 P, which is also called as F5, Next, F3 is equal to F1 divided by L1 into L3. Substitute all the values into this equation. We know the value of F1, that is 0.4091 P divided by 900 into value of L3. L3 is equal to 200. If you simplify this, F3 is equal to 0.09091 P, which is also called as F4, also called as F4. Okay, next we need to find out the maximum normal and shear, maximum normal as well as the shear stresses on each rivet. So with respect to this, we need to find out next parameter, maximum shear and normal stresses, that is shear stress on rivet number 1 and 6 due to direct shear load, tau is equal to Fd divided by 5/4 into 25 square, because so the diameter of this particular rivet number 1 as well as the rivet number 6, okay, both are same, okay, so which is the diameter is 25. So yeah, tau is equal to Ft divided by A, so I have directly written here. So Ft divided by, we know the value of Ft, so that is 0.1667 P, 0.1667 P divided by, if you simplify this, 5/4 into 25 square will get 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 4 P. 3.4 into 10 to the power minus 4 P. Same way, you need to find out the shear stresses on rivet number 2 and 5 due to direct shear load. Shear stress on rivet 2 and 5 due to direct shear load. So with respect to that, you can find out the tau is equal to Ft divided by A. If you substitute that value, 0.1667 P divided by 5/4 into the diameter of the second rivet, which is 20 mm. So 20 square. If you simplify this, we'll get 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 3. 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 3 P. This is a value, okay, with respect to this the shear stress due to the rivet number 2 as well as the 5. Next, the shear stress due to rivet number 3 and 4 to direct shear load, tau is equal to Fd divided by A, that is equal to 0.1667 P divided by 5/4 into the diameter of this, which is the rivet number 3 as well as 4, which is 15 mm, 15 square. If you simplify here, so we'll get 9.43 into 10 to the power minus 4 P. This is the value we'll get. Same way, we need to find out that value which is subjected to the normal stresses, which is the tensile stress on rivet number 1 and 6 due to normal load. We need to find out the tensile stresses due to Rivet number 1 6 due to normal load, that is sigma is equal to the tensile load, which is F1 normal load F1, that is sigma is equal to 0 point, also call it as F1 divided by A. If you substitute that values, which is F1 is equal to 0.4091 P divided by 5 by 4 into D square. So we know the value of D. So D is equal to 0.4091 P divided by 5 by 4 into 25 square. So we'll get sigma is equal to, how much we'll get? Sigma is equal to 8.334 P in terms of 10 to the power minus 4. This is the value we'll get. Okay, same way the tensile stresses due to, or tensile stresses due to the rivet number 2 and 5 due to normal load, that is the normal load on that second F2 2 and 5, so which is 0 point. So sigma is equal to F2 divided by A. Substitute that values, we know the value of F2, that is 0.2273 P divided by, we know the area, so pi by 4 into D square. D is nothing but the diameter of the rivet number 2 and 5, which is 20. So 20 square. If you simplify this, we'll get 7.235 into 10 to the power minus 4 P. This is a sigma with respect to this rivet number 2 and 5. Same way the tensile stress due to on rivet number 3 and 4 due to normal load, that is sigma is equal to F3 by A. F3 and F4 are both are same, so which are in same axis. F3, that is 0.09091 P divided by 5 by 4 into 15. The diameter of the rivet number 3 as well as rivet number 4 both are same. If you simplify this, we'll get, so 5.144 into 10 to the power minus 4 P. This is the value we'll get. Now by observing the values, observing the values, it is seen that the from all the above values, it is seen that the induced stresses are maximum on the rivet, number 3 and 4, the rivet number 3 and 4. So the maximum normal stress the tau sigma max is equal to half into sigma plus square root of sigma square plus 4 times of tau square. This is the equation, we already know that. So if you substitute all the values into this equation, we know the value of sigma, which is given in the problem, that is 80 Newton per mm square, is equal to half into the sigma on derivative number 3, so which is the 5.144 into 10 to the power minus 3 p plus square root of 5.144 into 10 to the power minus 3 p whole square plus 4 times of tau on derivative number 3, so which is 9.43. 9.43 into 10 to the power minus 4 p minus 4p. If you simplify this entire term, we'll get p is equal to 64795.7 Newton, in the sense 64,795.7 newtons. Next, we need to find out the maximum shear stress, the tau max. The maximum shear stress the tau max. So tau max is equal to so with respect to normal stresses, we get the P is equal to 64,795.7 newtons. Same way with respect to shear stresses, tau max is equal to half into the square root of sigma square plus 4 times of tau square. If we substitute that all the values into this equation, we know the value of tau max, which is given in the problem, that is 60 Newton per mm square, into half, that is half into sigma square. Sigma square is equal to 5 point, which subjected to the derivative number 3, the maximum, the maximum stresses on the derivative number 3 as well as derivative number 4, which is 5.144 into 10 to the power minus 4 p whole square plus 4 times of 9.43 into 10 to the power minus 4 p. If you simplify this entire term, we'll get we'll get p is equal to, so p is equal to 61,384.2 newtons. So hence safe load P is equal to 61,384.2 newtons. Select always, with respect to load, always select the minimum value. This is the value of P. Okay.